Hey, happy Saturday. Welcome to stream. How's everyone doing? Happy Saturday. Glad you're here. Little problem with the lights this morning. I think I know what's going on. I don't know. Lights kind of work, so I apologize. I'll refund points at the end, or maybe when the mods can if someone redeems them, but otherwise I'll look at the stream and fix it if someone redeems them and they don't work. Anyways, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here. Happy Saturday. I apologize for not being here last week. Every Memorial Day weekend, my wife and I set aside that Saturday to totally tear up the yard, tear up the garden, replant, redo everything. And I think the year before I actually stopped and came in and streamed and then went back out. The only reason why I remember that is because I think I had my sweat bandana on. So anyways, so I apologize for not being here last week, but it was definitely planned. It's something we do every year. It's one of the few Saturdays where we actually have concrete plans. Kind of tradition, I guess you should say. Dang, thank you so much. Xavius D, 697 bits. Thank you so much. I'll definitely get into follows and subs and resubs and bits here in a second. Hype Train, thank you guys so much. So yeah, man, my hair's kind of crazy right now. I was actually doing some gardening. We had this raised bed. I had to fix some stuff, and I don't know, do a whole bunch of stuff. And then I hopped in the shower, so my hair is just like crazy curly right now. Anyways, how's everyone doing? Oh, thank you. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Blue Fire. I like it. Blue Fire, 100 bits. Thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So welcome to the stream. If you're new here and you're wondering like, why is he so amped up? It's kind of how I am in stream. A little bit different than my YouTube channel. A little more energy. This is kind of me except for yelling. This is usually me how I am kind of at our daily stand-up at work. But or if you ever meet me in person, this is the kind of me. So anyways, so the stream is pretty much open to what we want to talk about. We usually talk about what we're working on, what we're excited about, what we're frustrated with, all related to tech. So we'll try to keep it to tech for the most part. But other than that, it's open forum. If you have questions about something you're working on, or want to share something you're working on, or really happy about something you've accomplished, or something that's coming up that you're dreading, you need help breaking down and talking about, let's talk about it. This last couple of weeks I've been working on something, a couple of things I've been working on. I'll go back to what I was working on before the last stream, working on getting, sharing a emote. Yeah, I'm going to share it because why not? Man, things are popping up everywhere. Thank you guys. So before the last stream, I was working on getting out this thing called Jekyll, static site generator. I know it's not the newest tech on the block. There are lots of static site generators out there, lots to choose from, but they're really awesome because they allow you to do things you wouldn't normally be able to do without learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you can basically write your content as Markdown, or really lots of different Markdown languages, and then it will generate markup for you and style it according to your theme and give you really nice things that you don't have to write code for. I use that loosely because you still have to manage your content as code, but for me that's totally fine. So many people asked, like, hey, what do you build your documentation site on? I'd like to do something similar. I'd like my own documentation site, or I'd like to build a website, or build a portfolio page, or an advertising page, or a landing page for my app or service or something like that. And so that's what I decided on sharing. The code itself has always been open source. My documentation is open source. It's on GitHub. You can see every single post I've ever written. All the bad grammar and all the misspellings are all there. Thank you so much for the follow. I'll get into those here in a second. It's all there and free for you to open PRs on and correct both my spelling and grammar. But the important piece is that in that last video, I actually open sourced the process. How do I actually do this, and how do I actually put it together, and how do I use it? So anyways, yeah, lots of stuff going on. Also, I don't know why I'm looking at my watch as if my sub count is on my watch. It's not on my watch. I'm getting close to 100,000 subscribers, so it's pretty crazy. I think I'm only like 800 off or something. It might happen in the next couple days. We'll see. Which is truly blows my mind that that I found 100,000 people as nerdy as me. It's crazy. So I appreciate it. Not there yet. I have something special coming. It's it's always going to be awesome to me. Whatever I'm working on may not be awesome to you, But this thing that I have coming, I think is going to be pretty cool and pretty special. And I have a lot of friends now that help me out with this. So this is pretty cool. So anyways, stay tuned. Whenever I hit that, I'm going to release a special video shortly after that has a lot of familiar faces that you guys might recognize. So it's pretty awesome. And I can't believe, like, not only the people who subscribe, but the other people in the Home Lab community who offered to help out with this. It's been fantastic. Anyways, I've had a pretty good week so far, and I haven't even hit 100,000 subscribers, so it's pretty good. So anyways, all that aside, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what you're working on. Let's talk about things you're excited about, things you want to figure out, or just want to chat or share. Something you've accomplished this week at work, something that you accomplished this week in your home lab, something that you're looking forward to. Throw it in chat. Let's talk about it. I'll try to get through everyone. I know I was a little bit late starting today because I always have issues. I had a little more issues than normal, but I actually kind of like those white lights back there. Why don't I do that more often? Anyways, that's a bug, but now it's turning into a feature. I like that. I like that. Anyways, so throw it in chat and let's talk about it. I started a little bit late because of a couple things going on, but I'll end a little bit late. And then usually lately what's been happening is there's kind of like this after party in Discord voice chat. So we hop in there afterwards. So I'm down with that too. I do have to cut the Discord voice chat a little bit short, but I will definitely be in there right after, only because my wife and I have to still go back and fix our garden. We got a couple things we got to fix so we can get things planted and I can get the crazy irrigation going that I've been working on. If you didn't see my tweet, it's pretty complicated, but on par for what I like to do. It's like it's one step away from smart irrigation. It's in my head along with about 4 timers and 5 zones. And a little bit crazy. So anyways, let's get into it. First, let's look at, oh man, so many follows, bits, subs. Let's call them out. So let's see here. I'm gonna start with this one because this looks roughly around when I started. 7. I'm going with 7. 7-6. Thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Ideen Air. Thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Piece of Geek resub tier 1 21 months. Let's go. Almost 2 years. Let's go. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Dude, 2 years, dude. Dude, 2 years. How already? How is that even possible? Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the continued support and all you do in the community and not only in Discord, but everywhere else. I appreciate it, all the help that you put in. Jenna Ryan, thanks for the sub. Tier 1, 19 months. Let's go, Jenna Ryan. Thank you so much. Any Blast, resub, Prime for 13 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Geeky Rand, what's up, man? How's it going? Geeky Rand, cheered 696 bits. Cheers, 696. Thank you so much, man. Ilude, thank you so much. Resub, tier 1, 21 months, 21 months straight. Dude, you and Pizza Geek, thank you so much. Ilude, thank you so much again. Not only for the 21 months of continued support, but again, for everything you do in the community, not only in Discord, also in Discord, because you guys both do a lot. But also open source community and Home Lab community. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Man, 2 years almost. Man Creature. And the funny thing is 2 years, it's like I just started figuring out like what your guys' voices sound like in voice chat. It's pretty awesome. I've had these mental pictures of what people sound like, and then to get to hear them in Discord voice chat is fantastic because now I can break those mental models. So anyways, Man Creature has subscribed to me. Thank you so much, Man Creature. Prime sub, thank you so much. Ilude, dude, thank you so much, dude. Gifted 5 tier 1 subs. So let's see, Organic Brax, Brizlop, Goldie, Crits. I'm going with Critsico, and Burrito Void. Enjoy your gifted sub from Ilude. Dude, thank you so much. Thank Ilude for your gifted sub. The Chubby Panda, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Xavius, cheered, 697 bits. Thanks, man. How's it going? How's your rack going? I know your rack is going well. I hear about it all the time. It's awesome. Super jelly, man. You're kicking butt on that. The Hadaganes, the hot dog jeans. I'm sorry, I'm slaughtering that name. Thank you so much for the follow, appreciate it. Chronic, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Nikoru-san, I like it. Nikoru-san, Nicole-san, I think. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Cosmos367, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. The Mad Rocker, thanks for the sub. Prime sub, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And Chubby Panda, hey, just following up with the sub. Prime sub, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you. So let's get into it. Let's get into chat first. Let's answer who was here first. Hopefully hopefully it looks okay, because I kind of did a little bit of testing in the beginning, so hopefully it's there. Looks like, Mafney at 252. Mafney, thank you so much. How's it going, Mafney? Good to see you. Mafney, trolling me on Twitter with my sprinkler system. I love it. I'm fine with trolls. I love it. Let's see. So I'm gonna jump into chat and start clicking on chat things, and let's talk about it. Oh man, good day so far. So we were testing the banana command, and I was testing we, and Mafney was testing we back, and then there was a Alfie Taras, banana noises, and a smiles and banana language. This joke goes so deep. I love it. So thank you so much. Hey guys, how's it going? Power up R. All right. Hey, Burrito Void. Let's see. PC Geek, I think this is record 1 minute hype train. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Thank you so much. Again, lights are kind of working. If you redeem points, I'll look through the stream and refund any that where they don't work. I know they're not fully working. I kind of peeked in my Kubernetes cluster, and for some reason, my Philips Hue API is saying 429, which in web speak, that's too many requests. So I must be hammering it somehow, or bad code for me, because it did a lot of changing over the last 2 weeks. Hey, Cosmos, sub, Prime sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. But yeah, a lot of changes for me. I didn't really talk about them, but a lot of Kubernetes secret management and redoing a ton of stuff, because I just needed to tighten up some of my coding practices, especially with security. So reset and redid all of my secrets, encrypted them again in a different encryption algorithm. So I think I'm kind of okay now. I'm still paranoid, but you know how that goes. Elion Renegade, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lights kind of sort of working, but maybe not is exactly right. Refund points. I kind of like how this is going right now. This is a happy mistake, as Bob Ross would say, as a happy mistake. Like, I got a bug in code, the white light stayed on in the bottom, but the Tokyo nights stayed up at top, and I'm kind of okay with it. All right, let's see. Just gonna roll with it. I sure am. Stream hype. Chubby Panda. Ayo, let's go. JCX Live. Stream hype. How's it going? Geeky Rent. That hair. I know. I forget what they call this. In Minnesota, they call this. It's a hockey hair or something. I don't know. It's just kind of long and back and kind of bushy. Shaved up on the sides, and I could almost pull in a ponytail. Not that I do, but it is going wild. Wife keeps telling me I need to cut my hair and shave. I should tell her. Geeky Rand says not to shave, because every time I do, he gives me crap. Oh, let's see. Xavier's D, Techno 10, woo doggy. I like it, woo doggy, and that's a good one. Down south, woo doggy. Was speeding home from picking up the last part I needed from my desk. I just needed bolts for the wooden inserts. I made it on time just to sit down on my desk. LOL. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Alfie Taras, did you try turning the lights on and off again? Yeah, I like it. I should turn the lights off for 60 seconds and unplug them and then plug it back in. Love it. We're applying like ISP troubleshooting tips to my lights. I love it. Keep it coming, because I deserve it. These things should work. I don't always test, but when I do, I test in production. JCX Life, both me and my partner, your partner's name, Zeronima, are watching. Thank you so much. Welcome, JCX. You're here again, and welcome, JCX's partner. Thank you so much for being here. Cosmos gifted a tier 1 sub to Tube. Dude, thank you so much, and Tube. I don't know how to pronounce that, but Tube. Thank Cosmos 367 for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Crack Kitty, fix the lights. I like it. I like that command. I like that command. I did add another command though. I'm not going to tell you which one. It was suggested a couple weeks ago. AKF Phenom. Hey, thanks for the sub. Tier 1 for 12 months, 1 month streak. Thank you so much. 1 year. Ooh, let's go. Thank you so much. Thank you. Burrito Void. Hey, Tim. Here we go. Hey Tim, I rebuilt my entire server yesterday with Ansible and moved to Traefik. Congratulations. Awesome. That's a huge feat. Feather in your cap. Thanks for the your videos were a huge help. Thanks. Hey, no problem at all. They're kind of tough. They're kind of complicated. I get it. I'm hearing people loud and clear. The last couple of ones are pretty deep. I got some new stuff coming that'll hopefully solve some of that. But anyways, you're not talking about that. You're talking about thank you. So I appreciate it. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you're there. You know, I use a developer term. I had to rebase a lot of things. Rebase is basically when you go back in time, write some code, and then go forward. Well, I'm going to be rebasing some stuff here coming up soon too, because I going to be a few changes once I hit 100K. I keep saying that, but I've been pretty good at waiting for 100K for a few things, because that's when I know this is for real. Not that it's not now, but it's been my goal. Let's see, Mongstad. Hi, Tim. Always great following your videos and streams. Hey, thank you. All the best from Norway. Hey, thank you so much. Awesome. From Norway. Thank you so much. Geeky Red. LOL. PC Geek, camera's bouncing a bit. I know. I have this mount, and whenever I touch the desk, it shakes the camera. Something else I got to fix. I got to figure that out. So I'm just not going to touch the desk while I'm hopping around and arm waving. A lot of arm waving. But I can't touch the desk while I do it. So thank you for calling that out, because I recognize that. I'm doing it now. I recognize that in some of my when I review my clips, and I was like, oh, camera's bouncing, but I totally forget. Let's see. I gotta click gently. Dale Kurt, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Hey, Techno Tim, I backed the Kickstarter campaign for the Turing Pi 2 this week. Congratulations. Awesome. Yeah, Turing Pi 2. Awesome. What a successful launch. I know it was a rough start getting to the launch pad, but they had a super successful launch. I think they blew away their goal by like 5x or something crazy. So they hit everything they wanted to hit and more. So awesome, man. So you supported them on Kickstarter? Awesome. Yeah, it's an awesome project. It's an awesome project. If you're not familiar with Turing Pi 2, I have one. They sent one to me. You can spin up a Pi cluster or a 4 Pi cluster, but also in supports NVIDIA devices too. Yeah, it's a edge device. It's basically like a mini ITX motherboard that has all of the ports you need to plug in some Pi compute modules or NVIDIA devices and get computing on the edge. It's pretty awesome. So you can get a 4-node cluster on one mini ITX board. Pretty awesome stuff. They're doing some fantastic stuff for sure. Or was I? No, it was me. It's totally me, 100% you. As soon as you said that, I knew, and I can see my camera bouncing. I have this new mount that I can swivel, and because of that, I didn't take into take into consideration the weight or how animated I get sometimes, and then I lean on the desk, and then, you know, plus I'm standing, so, you know, this is all, if I was sitting down, I think it'd be a lot better, but thank you. It makes it intense. I like it. Stream intensifies. I should just shake everything. I like it. Sorry, it is 100% it. 100% it. I'll calm it down a bit. Mechlazine, I wanted to talk about Caddy web server. Okay, I don't know much about it, but I know that it's I know that Caddy, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't used it, but Caddy is a combination. Caddy's like a reverse proxy that I think can get you certificates from Let's Encrypt. Tell me more, because I haven't used it that much. Chubby Panda, where's the energy in the YouTube vids? Damn, I know. Dang. Well, I cursed. I usually don't. I'm pretty good at filtering those out. Yeah, it's different. It's so hard to talk to a camera as if it's a person. I don't know. It is. I've been trying to let some of my personality come through a little bit more on YouTube. I need to let it through a little bit more. But, you know, when you have a script and you have to stick to, you know, technical ones are kind of hard in general. But when you have a script you're trying to stick to, or a plan, and things don't work the way they should, and you get frustrated halfway through, it's kind of hard to reset. I need to rebase my energy. Speaking of rebasing, but thank you. Thanks for noticing. Bluefire, I am in the middle of trying to convert my TrueNAS server to Proxmox. All right, convert it. Oh, so I get what you're saying. So you were on TrueNAS, and you probably want hypervisor. Not that TrueNAS can't, but you want Proxmox as your hypervisor. So you're either gonna flip it around, or you're just going to use Proxmox itself along with ZFS or storage, or you'll figure out storage later, or even virtualize that storage later. Yeah, I like it. Congratulations. It's pretty awesome. That's a pretty big feat. If you got a lot of data in your NAS, that could get tough, but you got this. You got this. Chicano, frustrated with Twitch now requiring a mobile number for verification to chat. Not like this. Hey, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I get it for privacy reasons, but at the same time, I want Twitch to verify I am who I say I am. I want every account I have to verify who I am and who I say I am. You know, it's the multi-factor authentication. One you have, one you know. The one you have is your mobile device. The one you know is your password. So I'm totally fine with that. I get it that now my phone number's in a system. I mean, but I think you can get by. Twitch supports Authy for two-factor auth. So if you don't want to give them your phone number, I think you can do that too. But I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. That's the only time I'm comfortable giving out my phone number is for multi-factor authentication, because then I know, for the most part, that even if someone got my password, they would then have to get my phone at the same time. I know there are ways around that, but it's just another layer of security. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, if that's what they use it for. Xavius, Tim, by the way, your 3 million Pi-hole blacklist is now over 5 million. All right, bonus. So you got a 2 million bonus. I like it. Just did it today and ended up with like 5.5 million on the blacklist. And man, that is awesome. That is awesome. I saw your mention in Discord, and I was going to say something, but I was like, I'll wait. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's funny because when I wrote that script for the video, I thought it was only 2. When I got to the end of the video, it was 3 million. And so I'm like, bonus extra million. And now you're getting a bonus extra 5 million. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And it's pretty cool. I probably won't redo the video. It'll just be a bonus. Maybe I'll add a comment and say like, hey, you got even more. Or it's just, hey, like you're pleasantly surprised. So I'm okay with being pleasantly surprised. I mean, at least it's not taking them away. It's adding them. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, man. Let's see. I got to remember to click buttons. There's me sharing. Green Moon 4. I'm working on a K8s cluster, a Kubernetes cluster with Rancher, and it's hosted on Hetzner. It's really cheap. Awesome. So I'm not familiar with Hetzner. I think Hetzner is a cloud provider that's in Germany. Don't quote me on that. There's very little knowledge of other hosting providers that aren't the big 3 in the US. You know, obviously I know other ones outside of the country, but I think it is. But it's really cheap. That is awesome. So cool. So you spun up a Kubernetes cluster there. On there you got Rancher. I like Ranchy better. You got Rancher on there to manage and provision more clusters. Pretty awesome. I think Rancher in the cloud is interesting to say the least, or awesome to say the least. One day I might have my Rancher cluster in the cloud, so then I can provision all my downstream clusters wherever I want, because I need things to come into there first and then back out. So what do I mean by that? I could have Rancher itself in the cloud, provision a cluster at home, another cluster at home, another cluster in this cloud, another cluster in that cloud if I need, and then I could shift workloads wherever I want. So yeah, that's if I ever move, that will be the video, because I'll need to shift my workloads for at least a week. Looking forward to that. Not really. But awesome. Congratulations. Awesome. I don't know anything about Hetzner, but if it's anything like any other cloud provider, awesome. I'm glad it's cheap, because cloud in general is not cheap. I know there's some free plans, but once you start doing real things, that's when it can add up. So awesome, they're cheap. I think cloud should definitely go down. Used to be real cheap and a lot of credits, and prices have gone back up. JCX Life, I set up a wiki, DocuWiki, awesome, because my partner wouldn't have a clue of how to do something because my partner wouldn't have a clue how to do something if I ever wasn't able. I hear that's awesome. So setting up an internal wiki for you and your partner, congratulations. That's awesome. That's great. Keep your stuff somewhere together where you can contribute on stuff together. Self-hosted too with DocuWiki. Love it. Lister man, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Chicano, let's see. Got 3 pies up and running with Portainer and Docker. Just needing some pointer on how to link them up. Not like this, huh? So if you want to link them up. I think the Portainer way is to install the agent on those other machines rather than installing Docker and installing another instance of Portainer and then getting Portainer up and going. I think what Portainer wants you to do, the Portainer way to get multiple, nodes within Portainer or within a cluster of pies, is to install that agent, and then you control them from one UI, and you can tell them where to go and where to be and how to, basically one pane of glass for all your Docker hosts. So look at that. Look into the agent. But that's awesome. I know you were doing some Kubernetes stuff. That's awesome. But plain old Docker and plain old Docker with Portainer is pretty awesome if you have low resources or you only have one of something. That's the go-to for sure. Dale Kurt, how's it going? Again, using MKDocs for documentation with ADR. Awesome. I don't know the acronym ADR, but I know MKDocs for sure. It's what a lot of technical documentations are written in. They use it. Awesome. Awesome. I'm a huge fan for sure of one, documentation. Aren't we all? Because we like to point to it and say, did you read the documentation? No, because if you're like me, you forget things over time, and who can keep a bunch of IP addresses in your head for 2 years? I sure as heck can't. So it's nice to have documentation, but two, having it self-hosted is awesome. But then I'm a huge fan of static site generators. Having it not in a database is awesome too. Like, unless you need a full-blown CMS, I think like having a static site generator like Jekyll, Hugo, you name it, whichever one you want to use. I don't mind which one. I think is awesome because then you manage your content as code and it's all right there, and you just change the code and you push it up and build it and deploy it and it's good to go. No databases, no backing up, no admin to log into, nothing to get hacked. You serve it out through Nginx. Worst case scenario, if it does get hacked, they get your content, but they're not in databases and getting passwords and all that other stuff too. Obviously, you don't want to put secrets in your content too, unless you're hosting it internally. But even then, I would argue don't put your secrets in there. You say, hey, this is where you would put the password. This is where the password is, and that's it. And not even say this is where the password is. Maybe you don't even give them that clue. Anyways, awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. MKDocs is awesome too, for sure. Thanks for using all the commands. JCX Life also ordered 2 Decacore. 10 core, I like it. I haven't heard Decacore, it's fun to say. CPUs for my Proxmox system, awesome. And thinking of upgrading my old processor to my Rust Bucket G6 systems, awesome. That sounds fantastic. Congrats on the Decacore. I don't get to say that often, so congrats on the Decacore CPU. Awesome. 10, right? 10, yeah. Do some fact checking, I think it's 10. Let's see. Man Creature. All right, Man Creature. Big one. Doesn't even fit on the screen. Let's see. First time watching on Twitch. I've been following you on YouTube for some time. Thank you so much. I had a question about on-prem Kubernetes and Proxmox. All right, here we go. At work, we're using Proxmox and looking at Kubernetes for scalability and possibly migration to the cloud. All right, I like where this is going. Right in my wheelhouse. I started learning Kubernetes and realized all the different variations. That's true. I've seen your videos and there are nuggets of knowledge that you can offer. Are there nuggets of knowledge that you can offer for a Proxmox cluster running Kubernetes and how to deal with storage? Yeah, good question. This is tough because storage, I feel like, is highly opinionated. And it should be because there are lots of ways you can go with this. So okay, so one, awesome, you're running Proxmox at work. I rarely hear that, so congratulations, that's awesome. So you have a hypervisor, you're running Proxmox, and then you have guest machines, which are Kubernetes nodes. Those Kubernetes nodes are in a cluster, and now you have your cluster running, and you're wondering, hey, how do I do storage? And so storage in Kubernetes is complicated. It can be complicated. Because, if you think of the Docker way, most of the time you have a bind mount from one node to one mount location, and that's your storage. But in Kubernetes, that pod may spin up on any one of those nodes. And when I say nodes, I mean servers. So that pod can come up on server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4. How can you guarantee that storage is there and available when it does come up? And it's the same storage that it was when it's on the previous pod. Yeah, great question. This comes up a lot. So you have a lot of options. There are lots of storage options. If you're doing it for work, I would look at something that's kind of enterprisey, I would say. And that doesn't mean not open source. What I mean is something that, there are all kinds of ways to do it. You could do NFS client provisioner, which is an NFS share, but then you need to make sure that your NFS storage is highly available. Then you have things like There's even one that's an adapter for TrueNAS, which is like pretty awesome, you know, for home lab. Probably not the best for an enterprise, unless you have enterprise TrueNAS running in your environment. That's highly available. So then there's other things like Longhorn, which is by Rancher, which creates highly available block storage within your cluster, which is pretty awesome. And then there's Rook, which is another one, which is based on Ceph, which does the same thing, creates highly available connections to a Ceph storage cluster. You still with me? So basically, and those are the two, only two that I'm really familiar with that aren't, you know, TrueNAS or the NFS client provisioner. Either of those two, I think are going to work great, but they're, you know, they are highly opinionated, and the people who use them love or hate the other one. I've been realizing a lot too. Personally, my home lab, I use Longhorn because it's easy, it works great. I've, you know, had a few quirks with it, mostly my own doing, but you know, it's newer. But it's super easy to spin up, easy to evaluate. Install it, you know, install Longhorn into its own namespace, test it out. You don't like it, delete the namespace, all the resources go. So Kubernetes, really easy to do. That's why you should use namespaces for different things. Easy way to clean up too. But if you want to try Rook, which is based on Ceph, you got to make sure you have some Ceph storage already. So highly available block storage within your cluster, which if you're using Proxmox, you could also set up Ceph on your Proxmox server and have highly available block storage on your Proxmox servers, and then Ceph can use those, which is pretty awesome, pretty compelling too. Pretty compelling. I don't know why I'm not trying it or haven't tried it. I always just heard it's complicated, but maybe in the future. Because I'm already running a Proxmox cluster. It's like, okay, the next evolution for storage is just get a Ceph cluster going on my Proxmox servers, use up some of that available space, you know, and just go HCI with it. Anyways, you have lots of options. I think that I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have to be the one. You're going to be the one that's going to have to support it. So I would say evaluate both, unless you don't want to set up, you know, Ceph in your environment, because that's a big undertaking too, and you need to understand how it works. Try Longhorn first, might be good enough. If that doesn't fit your needs, I would say look at Rook is another good one. And there are other storage providers too. To be honest, those are really the only two that I hear come up in home lab conversations, other than the other ones that I recommended earlier, the other two, NFS Client Provisioner and the Democrative, I forget what it's called. There's something for TrueNAS that also works really well, but in an enterprise environment, those are the two that I see people using. So anyways, that's a lot about storage. That's a lot about storage. I've done a few things with Kubernetes storage, but most of it wasn't self-hosting. You know, most of it's, you know, in the cloud from either Google or Amazon or Azure. And so, you know, of course they'll give you storage. They'll give you replicated block storage for sure. They'll charge you for it too. Okay, so the Chubby Panda, I'm working on Authentic. Awesome. This one comes up every now and then in my home lab at the moment. Not going great. Oh man, things just don't work. Yeah, auth in general. So Authentic is I think an auth provider. It might be an auth proxy. Forget how I understand the difference between the two, but I forget which class they fall in. But Authentic, pretty awesome. I know it's tough. I know, like I've done Authelia stuff before, and that stuff can be tough to figure out and get going. And how does it fit in? You know, does it happen before the reverse proxy with Authelia? Kind of, sort of, yes, because it's a proxy to the rest of your backing backends. But yeah, it's tough to figure out. I hope you figure it out, because Authentic seems awesome, seems promising. I haven't used it, but I hear good things. The people who talk about it, outside of, you know, the frustrations of stuff not working, but that just comes with the territory, say it's a good product. So awesome. Chronic, hack the planet, my dude. All right, let's hack the planet. I like it. Maybe that was talking about gardening, because I like that. That's what I'm tying it to, is gardening is planet hacking. That's what I'm going to call it. Takano, home lab tour for 100K subs. Seems good. Yeah, I mean, I did a home lab tour in November, December of 2021. I do one once a year. So one is coming for sure. I just don't know when it's going to be. I want to make some more changes though, because I can't be like, hey, remember last year's tour? It's exactly the same. The end. Roll the credits. Even if it was exactly the same, obviously it wouldn't be like that. I'll still break everything down piece by piece. But I'm gonna be making some hardware changes here soon. And I want to make sure that those are in place before I do the tour again. And I like to do those kind of the end of the year, just kind of a wrap up, so I can go back and say, hey, what did I do in 2021? Hey, here it all is in November, December. Same with 2022. It's going to be the same, roughly towards the end of the year. And then that's my goal in my head. Like if I'm installing storage or installing 10 gig or new switches or anything like that, I know like I got to get it ahead of then. So anyways, little foreshadowing here. Oh yeah, I like it. All right. Geeky Rant, Man Creature. We have an entire channel on Discord for that. We do. Thanks for the suggestion. It's called Storage, aptly named. Thank you so much. Yep, and I did a video of that kind already. I totally agree, but I do it yearly because things evolve. My last one was kind of like, hey, I built this server room, and on top of that, here's a tour. The next one will be just a tour. Less things, yeah. Anyways, I'll figure it out when I get there. I'm going with Cadis. I'm wanting to go to Proxmox plus NAS VM for Unraid. But I'm wanting to have all the Docker containers persistent storage I run across all the VMs be centralized and not into separate VDisks. Let me grab a drink. Any options? Yeah. So, I mean, your options are, which could go either way. I mean, your options, if you're going to be using Docker containers, and it's a single node, not Swarm or anything like that. I mean, your option is to mount your storage, to either to a mount path, and sometimes a lot of people use NFS or any other way. Which is going to be the probably best choice, but not the bulletproof choice, I should say. So, I mean, that's one of the few choices. I mean, basically on Docker, you're saying, hey, I have single node, kind of sorta. It's not clustered because it's not Swarm, and it's not Kubernetes. So you have a single node, single server, and you want to mount a whole bunch of mount paths to that one host. To somewhere centralized, it's going to be NFS. It's got to be NFS. There might be some other options, but that's going to be your best bet. The one caveat is like not everything likes NFS. And it's not any fault of the containers or anything. It's really whatever technology is that they're using inside of that container. I mean, maybe you could blame it on the container. There are things like SQLite absolutely hates being over NFS. A lot of databases do. And it's not just because of the latency. It's just because they need to write locks and things. And those locks, I don't know, can't be read or written over the network sometimes. That's what I've experienced. I know some people have it working, and you might be able to fine tune it. I think it's improved in NFS 4. It was very tough in NFS 3, but if you can get NFS 4, you might have some better luck. But I've run into it myself, and that's why I want block storage, at least for my cluster. Otherwise, I for those nodes, I basically do block storage, kind of sorta. I do a local mount, and then from there, I back up all that data with the process. Not too cool, I guess, and it's not a centralized place. But I've run into so many nuanced problems with doing NFS and Docker that I'm just like, this is not even worth it. And I'll put the effort into getting that data off that machine and backing it up a different way. But your mileage may vary. Give it a shot. Make sure you're using the latest NFS, and you might have better luck than I do. And maybe you don't have any containers that use SQLite or some database with inside that actually wants to write somewhere, and maybe you'll be fine. But yeah. So yeah, I haven't virtualized Unraid at all. I don't know anything about that. It's kind of mixing. It might be mixing technologies. I assume storage technologies. I assume you would probably want to pass those disks through or your controller through to your Unraid box because it uses a different storage tech. I think it uses Butter, possibly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whereas, Proxmox, if you're creating, a pool, it's most likely going to be ZFS, and you don't want to create a ZFS pool and then from that pool use their storage tech on top of that. You just want to separate that. That sounds like a recipe for things going wrong. So, but you probably got this figured out. You probably got it planned out. If not, yeah, hop in Discord. Let's talk about it. I haven't done a ton on Unraid, but I know it's a definitely a different storage tech, as is, you know, if you're doing like I do, I virtualize my TrueNAS, and even though it's still ZFS under the covers for my pools, I don't use ZFS for that virtual machine on the guest from the host. I pass those disks through. So yeah, awesome. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, Techno. Yeah, it was 2021. It's coming soon, and you'll get some more peaks soon. You'll get some more peaks soon. Hack the planet. Yeah, let's hack the planet. I don't know what that means, but let's do it. As long as it's a good thing. As long as it's a good thing. Caddy web server. All right. I don't know enough about it. Reverse proxy. You know, I have a handful of reverse proxies that I've used. I have a couple that I really like and others that I've used before. I'll put it at that, but don't know enough about it. And say more if you want to know more. Let's see, Chubby Panda. Hey Tim, have you ever messed with Authentic lately? We talked about that a little bit earlier. I haven't. The one auth proxy I've used, at least in my home lab, is Authelia. That's hard for me to say when I say it fast, but it's working out pretty well. I should look at others because I know there are lots of others, but I should look at others. And I need to redo some 2FA stuff in my Kubernetes cluster to get to a zero trust. And might check it out. Thank you. Let's see. Alfie-Trust. Apparently, Broadcom wants to make VMware a subscription service and eliminate perpetual licenses. So that's fun. Yeah, I didn't hear that, but that seems to be the trend. I'm super surprised that VMware doesn't do that already. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, it's. I don't know. You know, if you look at companies like any bigger tech company, a lot of them has switched to this already. Who knows, you know, and they might bundle things in, and who knows, you might pay less. I doubt it. But most of the people that I assume are using VMware are paying on the side on top of licenses, some kind of support and maintenance fee at the same time too. So if those can be bundled into one, and maybe you save, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. But I mean, VMware, I don't think has any problem making any money right now. So I think they got another good decade of making some money, especially, you know, if Broadcom does acquire them. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I assume, I mean, it's still early. Who knows what will happen? But I mean, most places are going to subscription-based service anyways. I mean, it makes good financial sense on the other end. And it might be for their customers too. I mean, if I think about even me, you know, like I have an Adobe subscription to do my videos. You know, do I really want to pay like whatever, an astronomical amount, you know, a couple $1,000 when every time a new version of you know, Adobe whatever is released? Not really. You know, do I like paying the monthly fee? Not really either, but you know, I don't have a ton of choices, but I'd rather pay a small monthly fee. It's easier to budget for than to be stuck on an old version because I don't want to pay to upgrade and then just gradually get upgrades. But they'd have to change. There's a lot that needs to change, and this is maybe not apples to apples, but you know, hopefully it's a win-win. I'll just put it that way. Let's see. Chubby Panda, Authentic seems really good, but his documentation is all over the place. You see that a lot. With a lot of tech projects. I haven't looked at theirs specifically, but yeah, I mean, even Traefik, their documentation is all over the place. I love the product, but at the same time, it's could use some work. I mean that with love. I mean that with love, Traefik. But that documentation could use some work because they'll explain 15 ways to do something, and it's like, just give me an example on Kubernetes. Don't tell me how to do it in YAML, TOML, for Docker, for, you know, a binary, for Kubernetes all in one place. Not interested. Not interested, because if I'm using Traefik in one place and I'm using one platform, I don't care about the other platforms. Anyways, and I'm not that I'm the greatest at writing documentation. I read a couple pages of stuff before, but not interested in all the side quests that go on in Traefik's documentation. Anyways, mean that with love, Traefik, for sure. Drawing is good. Yo. Will you make a video using GitLab? I'm thinking of using some tools to automate all code, starting from Terraform scripts to Ansible playbooks to K3S. Interesting. Yeah. It's been on my backlog forever. I think it's going to be coming. Slowly, it's getting boosted up. So I definitely on the radar. I just need to do it because I know a lot of people want to self-host, source code, repository, along with maybe some lightweight project management, along with possibly some automation with runners. And you can pick and choose those things. You could go, Git T and drone and pile it together, or you can use the community version of GitLab and get that all in one. So I know that a lot of people are interested in it. Oh, and container registry and everything else that comes with GitLab. There's a lot that comes with GitLab. And instead of, hand selecting all those things and stitching them all together, a lot of people choose GitLab for a good reason. It's a great product. So anyways, it's in my backlog. I haven't gotten to it yet, but things are coming. I mean, I've already talked about some automation stuff with a lot of, with a lot of Kubernetes and a lot of CI/CD stuff. That is definitely a missing link, and I considered doing it earlier, but it's sometime. It's in my backlog, 100%. JCX, sorry if the lights didn't work. Dale Kurt, fixed my Flux cluster, resolved the issue with authenticating and cloning my private repo. Awesome. Yeah. I've been fluxing. I feel like I've been fluxing for like 3 weeks. But I'm in a fantastic spot now. It was a 3-week slog of Flux. Every spare minute I had was, converting over to Flux and converting all my secrets over to this new Mozilla SOPs is what they call it, secret kind of architecture. And I couldn't be happier. I think I wrapped it up. The last repo I did might have been it wasn't last night. I think it was Thursday night. And I couldn't be happier. I also wired up Renovate Bot. It's a slog. It is a slog if you have a ton of code or you have a ton of infrastructure already. If you start with it, there's a huge learning curve. But after you get it and you have a few examples, you kind of figure it out. It's actually really great. It's really great. I feel so much better about my code base. Well, not the code base, the infrastructure for the code base. As you can tell with the lights back there, not super happy with the code base, but the infrastructure for getting my code out has been revamped and it's been pretty solid. So I can get out buggy code really fast now. Really fast now. Kiki Rand, Alfie bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how this plays out for them. Yeah, it is a bold strategy. I do think that most places are going to subscription service for sure. Let's see. Whoa, there we go. Xavius D, you and the wife can Discord while you're in the garden. Multitask, man. Come on. It'd be boring. It'd be boring, like seeing my raised bed and like I don't know. I'll separate them. So you're talking about the after party that's here in about 15 minutes in Discord. I'll probably separate them. Only I just want a clean break. Because we have to do that, and then we have to go pick up some more soil. So that's part of it. Let's pick up more soil to put in there to then dig up more stuff. I just took a shower too. Anyway. Gonna wear gloves this time because my nails look like I've been working on a car all day. Let's see. Second question from Cadis. How do you have your internal and external Pi holes set up? So I only have. It's complicated. Not complicated. So I have 3 Pi holes internally. Just pretend I had 2. The fact that I have 3 is my craziness. But I only have internal ones, so I don't host DNS externally. It's only internal. It's only for all my internal stuff, so I can refer to my services however I want. I can create A records, C names to point to all of my services, however I want, and then at the same time giving me ad blocking and protection, everything that Pi-hole does. So I don't have an external one. I just have an internal one. I don't know if you mean Traefik or my reverse proxy. That one I do have an internal and external. But Traefik, there you go. I just saw it. I'm getting better at this. So Traefik, yeah, better question. Not better question. Now I understand. Okay, so how do I have it set up? So I have, again, this is me going crazy. I have 4 instances of Traefik set up. Just gonna lay that out there. Pretend like I only had 2. But I had to say I have 4 in case I say something else weird. But pretend I have 2. So I have internal and external. They're running in my Kubernetes cluster. You might not be running Kubernetes. If you are running Kubernetes, the way that I have it set up in there is that I have 2 instances of Traefik 100% separated. 2 basically Helm installs name something different. Ingress class name is different. One's traffic internal, one's traffic external. 2 different metal LB IPs. I mean, just basically take what you did for traffic once in Kubernetes and do it again, but name everything a little bit different so you can get 2 running. And the reason why I did that is because I don't want to, I know you can create a ton of rules and in order to separate out and do a bunch of DNS tricks to get this to work, but I really didn't want to do that. And so I wanted to make sure that, you know, my one metal LB IP that's tied to the external traffic is the only IP that I port forward to. It's one IP, it's the only one I port forward to. So I know that all external traffic is going to there to get to some of my self-hosted services that are then public. Then the other instance of traffic is tied to another IP address from MetaLB. That's my internal one. And so things I have inside of my cluster that I need to reach internally, then I set up DNS or CNAMEs to point to there, to point to the internal one. And then I don't have CNAMEs pointed to the external one because why would I? Because I'm going to go through the external one. So basically think of 2 outlets, 2 holes. Choose your own adventure. Public stuff goes through one, internal stuff goes to the other. And that's it. And I manage those totally different. I keep them, I treat them like 2 separate reverse proxies. So then I mentioned I have 2 more. So if you're not using Kubernetes, you might be using Docker. That's a little more complicated because now you gotta kind of co-locate your services onto different boxes. And so that's the other thing is you probably need multiple boxes because I don't know how else you could solve this with IP addresses. So on your one box, you know, you would have traffic running and up and going, you know, you would expose 443. Well, now if you're port forwarding to that one IP address, that gets you into some trouble because then you can't do that again for another instance of traffic unless you do it on a weird port. But then what's the point of even having a reverse proxy there? I mean, there are other benefits to doing it. So you either are going to have two hosts and co-locate those services according to that proxy, or a whole bunch of DNS and load balancing magic that you're going to have to do. I don't know which one you're using, but hopefully that gives you some ideas. I'm not saying it can't be done on one host, but you know, there might be some things you could do with Mac VLAN and IP addresses, but that sounds a little bit complicated. But when I think about Mac VLAN, that's very similar to what MetaLB does for Kubernetes. Not the same, but very similar. You know, ties an IP address to one container, and that'd be an option too if you only have one host. Don't get me wrong, you can do it with one instance of traffic and write tons of rules to do it. In my head, I want to keep those separate because I don't want to ever like make a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake. And then there are also tricks that people could do too if they found out that like, hey, you're hosting this record internally, but not externally. But I know you are, so I'm gonna inject the host header and say, hey, give me secretpassword.home.com if that's your domain, even though you're not publicly exposing secretpassword.home.com. You know, if the host header says like, hey, resolve this for me, you know, reverse proxies might actually resolve that for you, depending on how everything's set up. So anyways, I would keep things separate. I'm a huge on like separating your concerns. Separate. I mean, it's here's my internal stuff. Here's stuff I trust. Here's my external stuff. Here's stuff I don't trust. And I apply different rules and I apply a different mentality to each. Kind of the same, a lot of the same, but a little bit looser on the internal stuff because I can get to those ports and they can get back to me. Whereas my external stuff, it's over there. It ain't not getting through the firewall unless something happens on the firewall. And I hope not, but it won't hopefully be something that I did wrong, a misconfiguration like I was talking about. Hopefully it's something that's more system-wide. Not that I want something system-wide with the firewall I use to happen, but I'm just saying I just don't want it to be, you know, me trying to mix concerns at the sake of reducing the amount of containers I have. Because it might sound like you're reducing complexity by having one container that does everything, but you're actually not. You're pushing down that complexity then into all the rules you have to write. So you haven't done anything to reduce complexity. You've just tossed it over the wall to some other place I'm shaking. I'm getting excited. You just toss that complexity over the wall and pushed it downstream to something else to figure out the complexity. So, and that's the complexity in rules and, you know, allow lists, block lists, DNS, VPN, you know, not VPN, but firewall rules. Anyways, I can talk about this a lot because I figured a lot of stuff out, but yeah, I don't have all the answers. So, if it were me, like I do, I keep them 100% separate because, not worth it for me. Anyways, yeah, good topic. As you can see, I could talk a lot about this. Let's see, Chubby Panda, agreed. Yeah, it's probably one of those things holding me back. I am bashing my head against this bug into the proxy outpost. Real quick, Beer Chug, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. And Listerman, if I didn't call that out, Listerman69, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. And Beer Chug, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Yeah, so bashing my head against a bug in the proxy outpost. Yeah, so I hope you figured it out with Authentic. I think that's what you're talking about. Takano. Oh yeah, my VCR is on life support. VCR. I love it. You probably weren't even alive when you probably never used a VCR. It's probably, well, I'm not saying never because you're using it now, but I know you're young, so it's like hearing you talking about using a VCR, I'm just like, man, you're not that old, but I love it. Managed to get the really urgent tapes out of the way before it crashed again, and just processed all those raw recordings last night. Awesome. Yeah, funny enough, I got rid of VCRs a long time ago, but we had to go to Goodwill to buy a VCR to convert some videos. Very similar to what you're doing. It's probably why you're doing it, because your parents had a VCR and they have tapes and you want to convert them to digital. It's probably why you have one. Not because you're interested in retro tech. Maybe you are. But yeah, same thing. I have one now that's in a basket or in a bin downstairs. We paid like $5 or $10 from... you know, I don't know if it's Goodwill or not, but anyways, and it's there, and it's exactly for that. I need a high 8 one too, because I think there's some old tapes that need to be converted. But if not, you know, they're pretty cheap. At Goodwill. Let's see, Takano started a little YouTube channel for random tapes that are online. Seems good. Yeah, random tapes, as long as they're not as long as they're not protected by copyrights. Yeah, seems good too. The Krillsta, nice chat, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Is there any real competition for them? I think we're talking about auth still. Crack Kitty, I'm working on VLANs because, you know, actually, iLoot helped me get my Pi-hole finally working with my VLANs and pfSense. Awesome. Yeah, congratulations. Crack Kitty, if you don't know him, he's head of VLANs in our Discord. Any VLAN question you have, just throw it at him. He's got it all. I'm teasing, but he has learned a ton, which is important. Just teasing, but we call him the head of VLANs. But awesome, man. Awesome, iLoot. Thanks for helping him out for sure. The Krillsta, 6:30 a.m. here, Australia dedicated. Woo, yeah, that's early. I think I've stayed up to 6:30 more than I've woken up at 6:30. I think I could say that. Can I have a hat? LOL. Yeah, I mean, you can have one. I mean, these I think are on Amazon. I've had it for a while, and I purchased it mainly because I have a gigantic head, and this is one of the few hats that can fit on here. Now that I've grown my hair out even more, it's like, oh my gosh, these hats barely hit. I'm like on the last snap of a snapback. I need a huge one. I don't even think they make fitted hats that fit my head. It's like 7 7/8 or something crazy, almost 8 inches, and it's like, no, not working. Let's see, JCX Life, I like helping on the Discord. Yeah, thank you too for your help. It makes me feel like what has happened over the past few years kind of has made me worthless. Oh, that's not good, since people find it useful, for sure. Nice place, I 100% agree, and the whole team doesn't get mad at me for dumb questions. You never got dumb questions. You're full of knowledge. I appreciate the help. Thank you so much. Oh, let's see. Xavius, the rack is stacked. The thick. Working on my desk setup now. Juicy picks coming this week. All right, we're looking forward to him for sure. We're looking forward to him. Thaddeus, love the hat. Thank you. Yeah, it's I couldn't find my other one. I know it's around here somewhere, and I just threw it on. And usually I wear this one forward for some reason. I like keeping it just as flat as can be, like I just bought it. I don't know. I might wrap it in plastic, like I'm an old person and just like trying to keep everything brand new. No, I like keeping my bills flat for some reason. I didn't when I was younger. I used to curve them all up. Now I just like it just clean and flat as possible. Kind of weird. Anyways, thank you. Yeah, I got it on Amazon a long time ago, but it's I enjoy it too. Alfie Trust, depends on which direction you go. VMware Cloud failed spectacularly. Yeah, VMware Cloud, that's interesting to think about. Hey, run your virtualization in the cloud. It's like, but then why don't I just run the cloud? Why don't I get infrastructure as a service, or better yet, platform as a service? Yeah, it is definitely interesting, and I get it. Not everyone can do IaaS or PaaS. I totally get it, but yeah, that's I have to think about that one. I'd love to see, you know, their product marketing on that, what it actually says. Like, hey, run VMware on top of cloud services, and it's like, okay, I can kind of comprehend what you're saying, but why would I do that? And maybe it's just to be autonomous of which cloud you're in. Maybe that's it. You know, maybe that's why you're doing it, because you're like, no, just provision stuff in VMware and I'll target a cloud, you know, and your cloud hardware, your IaaS is just a commodity to me. I don't care. You know, I'll be in Google Cloud today, click a button, shift everything to Azure tomorrow. Maybe that's the play. I bet it is. Multi-cloud. I see where they're going. We got it all figured out. I totally don't. Chubby Banda, hell, hex yeah. Man, I'm cursing twice in one stream. You've been a great help on YouTube. Gotta give back. Thank you so much. No, I appreciate it. I mean, just watching my videos and, you know, giving it a thumbs up if you like it, and being here is more than I can ever ask for sure. Banana. Yes, you're getting it all. Cadis, error code 418. Yeah, 418. I know 418. I'm a teapot. I'm a teapot because the 4 and an 18 is like a ASCII teapot that you grab and turn over. I don't know. I always see I'm a teapot. It's actually listed as a real HTTP status code. I think it was a joke, but it's in the spec, and it made it into the spec, and I'm glad it did, because someone doing HTTP status codes has a sense of humor. Hello. Error code 420.69. I don't think I've run into that one yet. Theo, hey, how's it going? Theo Paris, hey, how are you? Theo, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing well. XaviusD for sure. The Krill stuff, VMware, vRealize automation. I think that's pretty much what I described earlier. I don't know. I'm going by a marketing name, but I think that's what I described earlier. And that was me just like not even thinking about what actually they're even trying to do. Xavier's Deep, Midwest mullet, in my opinion. Yeah, I like it. I can go for that. No, it's not. My hair's shaved up. It's just really long now, and I can pull it in a ponytail, but on top of that, it's curly. And like, I just jumped out of the shower, and if I jump out of the shower, it's like 70s do for sure. It's borderline Bob Ross. Let's see, Alfie Trust, is there anything really competing against VMware Workstation aside from VirtualBox? Yeah, good question. Probably not. But at the same time, like desktop virtualization, I mean, Microsoft has it built in to their desktop now too. So yeah, I mean, it's super niche. Don't get me wrong. I mean, people still use VMware Workstation for a lot of stuff, but that, you know, it's a different type of hypervisor. So yeah, I mean, do they have competition? VirtualBox and Microsoft, but you know, I even argue how many people actually use VMware Workstation. I know a lot of people do, you know, for testing and for a lot of stuff, but if people have, you know, a virtual infrastructure, you would assume they would just provision machines within ESXi or something. I don't know, making this up because I don't use it, but yeah, it's a good question. But I think, like, you know, yeah, they don't have much competition there, but I also am curious how many people still use them. Camera shake, yeah, I'm gonna work that out because I noticed it. I'm so glad you guys mentioned it because it probably drives you crazy. Stream intensifies. That's what I need to do. Stream intensifies and shake it. It's a real shake too. It's because yeah, I'm on the second floor, old house. I won't go into it. And on top of that, I'm standing, and when I shake my arms, I like shake everything. And then if the desk is standing too, and camera's on some crazy arm. Let's see, Cadis. No, people are just lucky to have a test environment. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so if they have a test environment and they have ESXi or, you know, a type, I think that's type 2 hypervisor. I don't remember the types, but if they're actually running, you know, an environment with virtualization, they'll use that. If not, you're going to have to do it local on your desktop, and then you still have options. You know, if you're using, you know, Microsoft, you have, you know, Hyper-V at your disposal. Not that it's the greatest, but it's there and it's free, and sometimes that's good enough. You know, and then you have, you know, VMware Workstation, which you'd have to pay for, but then you have, you know, VirtualBox, which you don't have to pay for, which is mostly good enough. So, yeah, I don't know. Alpha Trust, are you using Linux or Windows? KVM, Vert Manager, pretty awesome. Another open source ones. Yes, they have some competition for sure. Okay, let's, I'm going way over. Okay, so I'm gonna look for mentions, but real quick, Takano, have you ran a virus scan on your server? Those hackers might be DDoSing you. Are you? Yeah. I have security stuff in place for sure. No alarms are going off yet, but it's a good question. But 429 for me, yeah, I know what it is. Well, I know how it can happen in my code, because when I have to turn lights off, I have to like shotgun blast every single light bulb in here and go off, 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 off. No, I have to dim them, and there is no dim. So I have to go 90, 90, 90, 90, 80, 80, 80, 80, 70, 70, 70, 60, 60, 60, 50, 50, 50. And for whatever reason, maybe, I don't know, maybe Philips Hue changed their API. And so I seriously have to do that to like 10 bulbs to dim them slowly down to 0 and then bring them back up. So I'm a bad developer. Back-end people hate me. And that's the Hue saying, I hate you. Too many requests, go away. Come back later. But yeah. All right, guys, gonna look for, I do apologize. There's tons of great conversations. I wanna make sure that I am addressing things that people were specifically asking specifically me, and I apologize if I skip over some because I know it's hard. But I do wanna be sure that I at least scroll and look. All right, JCX. Have you ever heard or used canary tokens? They're like passwords and credentials for services, web links. That if they're accessed, they're an indication of compromise. I like it. If someone accesses your system. No, I like it. I understand the ideas of canaries. We use canaries in software deployment to send out canaries. It's basically, I think in the mining days, you would bring a canary down there because they would die fast because there wasn't enough, there's too much carbon dioxide. I don't know. I'm making this up based on things that I've heard. Anyways, I understand. I've done canary deployments before. But I like this canary tokens. Yeah, I like it. It's right up there with honeypots. You know, honeypots. You set up a fake service, you wait for something to scan on it, and you let them attack that, and you let them scan on it, you let them attack on that all day, and there's really nothing behind it. And now you got a good signal of someone trying to do something. I like it. But then canary tokens, I like where this is going. No, I haven't heard of it. New concept to me. I love it. It's just like when you make up an alias for your email address to figure out who's sending you the spam. You know, and you know, on Google, you can do something plus your email address, and then that's how you create an alias easily. And then once you give those out, then you know who's selling your email addresses. I like it. I like where this is going. No, haven't heard of it. Need to look more into it. I mean, I hope no one's using my tokens, because if they were using my tokens for my different services, I would assume the next step would be just go against the service and start getting my data. Who knows though? I like it. I'm going to fill my code with a whole bunch of canary tokens, but I would have to give them no access and then set up alerts. But I like where this is going. I like it. Yeah, thanks for introducing that to me. Sacred Gaming. Techno Tim, I know we spoke about it after your last stream, but I was able to use Proxmox, my Ceph cluster, and connect it via Rook and my Kate's cluster. Seems to work well so far. Awesome. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Like, yeah, if you have Ceph up and going in a Ceph cluster, Rook is going to be your best bet. I think you've already tackled the hard part, which is getting Ceph up and going. So if you have Ceph up and going and you need storage for your Kubernetes cluster, heck yeah, use Rook. Lean into it, you know, hyperconverged. Lean into hyperconverged, you know, your storage that you have already running on Proxmox. And super hyperconverged. I love it. Super hyperconverged because it's your virtualization, containers, then you're running Kubernetes cluster, and then it's using storage that you're using elsewhere in your cluster. I love it. So yeah, absolutely. If you have Ceph already, yeah, Rook is a great choice. The challenge I always hear is just setting up Rook to begin with. You know, so awesome. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Xavier D, Homeland upgrade, more carbon fiber. Yeah, you definitely had some carbon fiber set up in your rack. I was super jealous. Super jelly. What are you drinking? You always seem to have a fancy looking soda drinks. I'm going to crack open a Pepsi Max Raspberry. Awesome. Great if you haven't tried one. Usually it's it's some bubbly water. And so this one is mango passion fruit. So I used to drink a lot of Diet Pop a long time ago. I switched to bubbly water, like I think like a lot of the world. yeah, I've been sticking with it, and that's kind of what I go for. This one has caffeine in it, and I think I've had a little bit too much, if you can't tell. But I always try to crush one on the stream, just because, like, most of the time, you know, the 3 o'clock for me is kind of like the lull time. Anyways, yeah, let's try that. I like raspberry. It sounds nice and crispy too. All right, guys, gonna look for mentions. Gonna look for mentions because I want to be cognizant of everyone's time. Xavier T, Techno Tim, and JCX Life. Only dumb question is the question not asked. I love that. I love it. I totally agree, and I never want anyone to feel like, you know, tossing something in chat, they're gonna get ridiculed, or I'm ever gonna think it's a dumb question. It's not. It's not. If it's an easy question for me, I love it. I love it. You know, so I never think like something you're gonna ask is dumb, or I'm ever gonna criticize you for asking stuff. That's not who I am, nor would I ever do that. And if you toss me a softball, I'm gonna try to hit it out of the park. So don't feel like you ever have to worry about asking dumb questions, because I don't think there are any. So hey, anyways, hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you. Like I mentioned a little bit ago at the beginning of the stream, rewind a little bit. After party and Discord, I'm gonna hop in voice. I just need to do some adjustments in here so I can actually sit down. But I'll be in there within 5 minutes. Hop into Discord. If you're not a member of Discord, you should totally join. We're very close to 7,000 members, I think, which is awesome. We just recently got partnered, which means Discord believes in our community. So awesome. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been there and helped out, or talked, or chat, or sent emojis, or trolled me. I love it. Thank you so much. And yeah, so I will be back absolutely next weekend. I'll have something out very soon. Once I hit 100K, I got something that I think is pretty special coming out soon. It's something that some people that you might recognize helped me out with. So it's fantastic. So I'm super excited about it. Anyways, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great Saturday. And I will see you on Saturday. I'll be in Discord voice chat, whatever channel you guys are in. It looks like you're in Azeroth. I'll be in there in 5 minutes. Give me 5. All right. Have a great rest of the day. Take care, and be good to each other. Take care, folks.